Hello friends, welcome to my Persian Corner. My name is Panta and today we have a quick lesson on how to introduce yourself when you meet someone for the first time. So let's get started. All right, so when you first meet someone, your exchange might be something like, hello, my name is, ask them their name, and then say, nice to meet you. So that's the brief little conversation that we're gonna look at today. So let's start with salam. Salam, hi or hello. من پانتا هستم. من پانتا هستم. I bet you've guessed it. I am Panta. So give this one a try with your name right here. Great job. Okay, so with this sentence, man panta hastam, we're saying man, I, and then your name, hastam, am. So you'll notice that the sentence structure looks a little bit different than in English, because in English we have a subject, verb, object sentence order. So we say I am Panta, but in Persian our verb comes at the end. So it's a subject, object, verb structure. So we say I Panta am. It's a little bit different. Let's take a look at where we would put diacritics in this sentence. So we talked about diacritics in the alphabet video, and we said we don't write them generally, but let's just take a look at where we would put them here. We have man, so m, a, man, panta, hastam. So h, ha, we have to say ha, so we'll add another one here, hastam. There we go. Man panta hastam. Now in Persian, we could also just omit the subject because the conjugation for I is given in the verb ending hastam. But in English, you have to say I, you, or he, she, it, but not in Persian because the verb is conjugated according to the subject. And in this case, our conjugation for man or I is right here. It's this diacritic along with the meme. So together it forms the ending am. So am is always going to be your ending for I. It's going to be the ending whether you put it on a verb or a noun or an adjective. It's always going to indicate I. And it's easy to remember because it's like I am and am. It's the same thing. It should be an easy one to remember. You're going to use it a lot, so commit this ending to memory right now. So another way that we could introduce ourselves and say our name is by adding this ending. As I said, we can add the ending to other verbs or nouns or adjectives. So we can add this ending to our name as well. So how do we do that? We have our ending, which is the diacritic and the meme. So we would add it here. But we can't have this diacritic just kind of floating in the air, right? It needs something to sit on top of. So we're going to add an alif. So now it's am. Man pantalam. And that's just a shorter way to say that. Again, we could also omit man here if we wanted to. And if I could just say pantalam, and that means I am panta. So there's a few different ways that you could say this one. So, man pantalam. اسم شما چیه؟ اسم شما چیه? All right. Now, the written form here looks a little bit different. I should say, اسم شما چیه? What is your name? So the written form looks a little bit different from the spoken form here. The written form is actually اسم شما چیست? And in the transliteration, I've written اسم شما چیه? Because this is always going to be one of the challenges of not just learning Persian, but also teaching it, because there's a written form and a spoken form. The written form, what we call ketabi, which means kind of bookish, is very formal and it's the correct way. The problem is that nobody speaks that way. So in maybe in informal writing or like on social media and things like that, you might see people writing the same way that they speak. But because we're learning Persian here, we're gonna look at the written form the correct way. But the transliteration will be the spoken form just because it's more practical. So that's what we're gonna do here. So I'm gonna ask you one more thing, shoma. In Persian, like many other languages, we have a formal and an informal you, and shoma is the formal you. When you're meeting someone for the first time, you want to err on the side of being a little bit more formal, which is why we're using shoma. So, answer my question now. اسم شما چیه? Great. Okay, ask me. من پانتا هستم. Perfect. So when you meet someone, it's only polite to say, nice to meet you, right? So let's take a look at that. So here we have it. خوشبختم. Repeat. خوشبختم. Great. So خوشبختم is technically the correct form, according to my research. But you might hear people say خوشبختم, and that's actually what I thought it was for a really, really long time. And sometimes I even see خوشبختم. خوشبختم is kind of like saying my timing was good to meet you, whereas خوشبختم has the meaning of like I'm lucky to meet you. And if you think about it, they both make sense in this context and they sound very similar. خوشبختم, خوشبختم. And I think that's why it even causes some confusion amongst native speakers. But I did some digging, and the general consensus seems to be that خوشبختم is technically correct. So, من هم همینطور. Nice to meet you too. من هم همینطور. So when you say خوشبختم, we said the meaning, it's like saying my timing was good to meet you. So when you say من هم همینطور, it actually means me too, like my timing was also good, right? But when we say this, we run من هم together, so it sounds like منم. منم همینطور. منم همینطور. Another thing that you could say is همچنین. همچنین. Likewise, a little bit more formal. همچنین. So let's try our conversation from the beginning one more time. I'll start with salam and then you answer. سلام. من پانتام. اسم شما چیه؟ خوشبختم. Excellent. Now let's switch roles. You start with salam and I'll answer you. من پانتا هستم. منم همینطور. Or همچنین. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Now you can introduce yourself. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share it with any friends or family, anybody who you think might be interested or curious about Persian. And I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Khodafis!